Another weekend of football, another weekend where I honestly did not get to watch that much football. I had a very busy Saturday once again. Only got to catch one game, but god damn, some exciting stuff, some interesting stuff happened on Sunday, and that was pretty fun. So we're gonna dive into that, and I promise I will not talk about the Bills. I will not talk about the Bills. I am not going to talk about the Bills. All right, we're just gonna get it off my chest. I'm gonna talk about the Bills. It's the only game I watched on Sunday in its entirety, and I was a little worried for a minute there. I mean, great, we pulled it out, but let's not forget, the Saints, they get paid to play football too, and they showed it. Okay, they definitely showed. They had for a minute there, I was worried. I was like, are we really gonna let these guys compete with us? The best team in the NFL? Where this is the way this is gonna go? It never felt like we were gonna lose, but it seemed very strange that they were able to keep up with us, the Bills, the way that they were. I like when fans say us and we, like it's the team. Because I do it. That's why I like it, because I identify with the team. They are me. I am them. Without me, they could not win on Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays. I am a key cog, just like every single other fan in the world in my our respective football teams winning football games. That being said, don't understand why the Bills were letting them dangle in so close like that for like the whole first half. I think the first half ended it was like 10 to 16 or something. Like it was like a weird, like, what's going on? But then you got to take a step back and you got to remember, hey, these guys get paid to play football too. Just like when the Browns went and beat Green Bay last week, these guys get paid to play too. Just like when the oh my god, when the Panthers put up 30 points last week and then put up 0 this week. 0, papi. Big 0. Yes, my cat's looking at me. Yes, 0, papi, points from the Panthers this week. Well, that's not true. 0 points. I got my teams mixed up because I bet on both these guys. I bet on the Panthers to cover 5.5. They didn't. They suck. They're dead to me. No consistency from that organization whatsoever. Also bet on the Titans to cover, which they did for the entire first 3 quarters and then gave up 20 points. 20 points in the fourth quarter to the Texans. You held them to 6 the whole game. I'm so pissed about it. You know what I mean? Like, that game was so close to within striking distance. No one even made it into the red zone until the end of the third quarter. And that goes for both teams. So fuck those guys. Fuck the Titans. I like Cam Ward. He was right for calling his whole team ass. But also fuck them because they kind of screwed me there. Kind of screwed me. Yeah, god damn, just like the Panthers did. Fuck. It was a bad gambling weekend. It's been I've had a bad NFL gambling season, if we're being completely honest. Not a great record. College football, I also had a bad weekend. It's the not watching. It's the not watching. On Saturday, woke up and went and I helped my mom move, and that took all day. So I watched one football game, which actually, I don't know if a lot of people are saying it was a good football game. I felt like it was a good football game. I don't know if that's just because I haven't watched a college game, like sat down and been able to watch an entire college game in like 2 weeks. But Alabama versus Georgia, I enjoyed it very much. I know everyone was like, "Oh, the Penn State and Oregon game, that's the one to watch," and that went to overtime, and that was a good game, I'm sure, but I don't think it was as much fun for me as the Alabama-Georgia game, and that's because at one point in the season, just like most of the nation, I suspected that Alabama was not good. And then at another point in the season, just like much of the nation, I suspected that Georgia was not good. And if I'm being completely honest now, I don't know what to think. I mean, at this point, are we saying the come on the back of the week is Alabama football? Are they back to being in the regards that they're typically held? Or are they just dialed up and they've got George's number? It's kinda hard to say on that whole front, honestly. They just I what's his name? Ty Simpson, the quarterback for Alabama, he looked good. They were dominant on 3rd down. It took them for they had these drives that lasted fucking forever, it felt like, and it was sorry, I'm watching the Monday Night Football game, and I've got money on Justin Fields to get a touchdown, and then the Jets just fumbled the ball. Not Justin Fields' fault. I believe that was Breece Hall. Also, what do you guys think, just because 'cause I'm on the topic now, what do you guys think of these rivalry uniforms? Also, wouldn't it make more sense if both teams were wearing them? I don't think the Jets even got these uniforms, or they did. I don't think they're wearing them because these look like normal Jets uniforms. So why wouldn't the Dolphins and Jets both be wearing the brand new rivalry uniforms when they play each other? Wouldn't that make sense? If you're gonna wear them, wouldn't it make sense to wear them then? It Is that just me? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, we're watching Monday Night Football while we record this. But yeah, it just I I don't know. I don't think Georgia's bad because last week or the week before, whenever it was, when they played Tennessee. See, I haven't watched football in 2 weeks now. My whole schedule is confused. When they played Tennessee, I thought Georgia was good, and I thought Alabama was bad. But now they play each other, and Alabama wins, and I don't know what to think. I truly do not know what to think. I was like, "Oh, it must be a Georgia thing," because Carson Beck looked bad, and then he went down to Miami, and I was like, "Oh, a couple games here, he's looked pretty good." Georgia hasn't looked, the dominant Georgia that you would typically expect. So it's been a very weird season. I think I'm gonna stake my claim here. I think Alabama is better than we suspected. I think they just had they didn't get up for week 1. They expected to win based on their name. I think Georgia's proven that they're a very good team. They're a championship contender level team. Do I think Alabama is that good? I don't know. But it would seem that if Alabama and Georgia happen to meet in SEC championship, in the playoff, well, if that even would happen in the playoffs, depending on seeding and stuff, if there's even the potential that they meet in any way that would eliminate one or the other from getting a national championship, I think Georgia should be very worried because I think it's pretty obvious that they're the better coach team, they're the better executing team overall through the season. But you lost to an Alabama team that everyone kind of thought was written off. Like even people leading up to the game were talking. They were like, this feels like the spread should be 10 points, but we're sitting here at 3 and fucking lo and behold, the odds makers were right. If you took Georgia, I'm sorry, you got fucking outsmarted. You got outsmarted. I don't remember who I took in that. Oh, I think I took the over. I don't know. I'm sure I took something disappointing. That was a few days ago now. I've made a lot of bets since then, and I haven't won that many. So I'm just gonna assume that whatever I put on this Georgia game, I don't have any notes in front of me. I lost. Probably took Georgia because I was a sucker. I feel like a sucker. Been a sucker all weekend, and it sucks. Sucks to be a sucker. Um, Oh, we didn't even finish talking about the Bills. Yeah, the Bills, I don't know what they were doing. They let the Saints kinda hang with them a little too long, I felt like. But, these guys get paid to play football as well, and so sometimes you just gotta chalk it up to that. Like, that's how it's gonna be. Gotta chalk it up to, like, these guys get paid, they're professional athletes. And the Saints, they play so fucking hard. It's the only team it's the team I've seen the most that when they should kind of be giving up and having a bad year, like, almost with a little bit of intention so that they can get a good draft pick and be better the following season, or at least get the higher draft pick, whatever it is. They seem to be the only team that plays incredibly hard and tries to avoid that, knowing that's A, what they should do, and B, kind of inevitable. Like, they're just not a good team. It's as if I don't understand. They're not a good team. Lean into not being a good team. I mean, look competitive. They're doing a good job and looking competitive. They're bringing the fight. I think they just deep down in their heart of hearts, I am a little bit like, hey, what is the deal? You know what I mean? Like, we need to stop. I mean, you're still losing games, so it's actually not that bad, but you need to not win games. You need to not win too many games. You've got people. I'm hearing a lot of people want Lenora Sellers, Heisman pick, totally out, not gonna happen, unfortunately. They want him to go to New Orleans. They think that's gonna be very exciting as, like, the number 1 pick, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's the case, but that's what a lot of people are saying. It really depends on who comes out. I mean, I think Carson Beck's probably gonna come out this year. Um, Garrett Nussmeier, who's been disappointing, I think, to say the least. He was a Heisman favorite at one point. Bumtown, if you ask me, just not looking that good, if I'm being completely honest. Um, yeah, that's how it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I love the Bills game. I've watched Alabama, and then I watched the Bills, and those are the only 2, like, full games I've watched all weekend, and pretty much the past 2 weeks. I haven't had the opportunity to watch that much. I've been so fucking busy helping people move and splitting all this wood, and it kinda sucks. It's getting away from me a little bit. I'm having bad luck betting, and my head's not in the game. I gotta get right. I need a get right weekend. I need a get right game. I'm really hoping that one of these Monday Night Football games is the get right game, because if not, man, oh man, my ass is getting kicked out here on a gambling front. I'm usually like a nose to the grindstone. I know what's going on, and I'm just outsmarting myself. Just outsmarting myself. It's been nuts. I do want to say I told you so to Bears fans. I know I believed in the Bears more than you did. Maybe I'm a better Bears fan than the Bears fans are, but I was 100% right. You guys are actually a good team. No one believed in them from your fan base. No one believed Ben Johnson was good. No one thought Caleb Williams was good. Everyone wrote off the defense because you lost key guys, and I did a little bit as well, but you beat the Cowboys like you should have done. Fuck yeah. And then this week, you come in and you have a game winning drive from Caleb Williams to beat the Raiders. Now, the Raiders were kicking your ass a little bit. They got a tough defense. They had a dominant run game that really exploited your biggest weakness on the defense, which was the run game. But then you get your guy. You get your guy, Caleb Williams. He's coming out of the end of the game, final drive for the win, and he gets the W. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Those are the kinds of progress that we really, really needed to see from Caleb Williams, and I think, fortunately for you guys, we've figured that out. I think we gave it a little time, we gave it a little faith, and now, lo and behold, the Bears were good, and I called it. I'm not saying they're a playoff team. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team. What I am saying is that we gave it a couple of weeks. Through week 1, week 2, we saw improvement. To week 3, we saw a little more improvement. Now, week 4 just passed, we saw even more improvement. We got the game-winning drive. It wasn't a game-breaking, the best game in the world from the team by any means. You were playing the Raiders. I mean, it's pretty evenly matched, but, you guys worked out the kinks, and you got the W, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's the same point that I have and same stance that I have with the Bills that I currently do with the Bears. And that stance is that, yes, you may not have played your best game, but when you weren't kicking the shit out of a team, maybe the way you should have, maybe you weren't executing well, maybe they weren't executing well, whatever it may be, when things were looking down and you weren't performing the way you're supposed to, you went out, you tightened up, and you got the win when it was time to get the win. That's what championship teams do. Again, I'm not saying the Bears are going to make a Super Bowl this year, but you see it starting to come together, and I think by the end of the season, you're going to be really happy and excited with where the team ends up, especially going in to next season. I do think Caleb Williams is the guy. I think you've got it figured out. I think it's just going to take a little more time for Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams to come together, and they're getting better and better every week as Caleb gets better at adjusting to Ben Johnson's system. Ben Johnson gets better at adjusting his play calling to what suits Caleb right now, and as he comes along. I think you guys are in great shape going forward. I really, really do. I if I'm a Bears fan, I'm pretty fucking stoked with where I'm at, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, bad snap by the Dolphins. Wow, they were so lucky to recover that. A lot of loose balls in this game so far. Miami versus the Jets. Very strange. Very, very strange. If Devin Achane gets a touchdown here, I'm going to be kind of pissed. He is at the 50, so probably not, but still, you know what I mean? He went the wrong way on a play action. That's embarrassing. Anyway, are the Ravens bad? I don't want to say they're bad. Their defense is definitely bad. Their defense is not looking good this year at all. They're giving up points on points, it feels like. Just come through, we're open, you're open. 24-hour service from the Ravens defense, which is weird culturally, but they also just suffered a ton of injuries from their starters. And I saw this thought that I still haven't made my mind up yet, but maybe I'll make it up here as I kind of talk through the whole thing. Lamar Jackson coming out with a hamstring injury. Now, again, I did not watch this game. Wish I had. I just got busy. Um, Lamar Jackson came out of the game with a supposed hamstring injury, and I heard that a lot of people were thinking that it was a fake injury or not, or at the very least, not as bad as it would be expected, if that makes sense. A lot of people were thinking that he didn't really get hurt, not to the extent that we all presumed anyway, and that it was a fake injury. A lot of people think it was fake and that he quit on the team. And you paid him however much, $250 million, whatever it is. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I'm not a stats guy. We all know that. If you've been listening for a little bit now, you know I'm not looking shit up. Everything's off the top of my head, all vibes and shit. Um, if if you're paying him that money, you don't want him to give up. You want him that when he comes out of the game, It's in the way that Josh Allen comes out of the game where it's, "Oh, we're so far ahead, we're going to rest him during the 4th quarter because of safety concerns. We need him for the rest of the games." For one, what you really need to do, I think I think right now Lamar Jackson is trying to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get the MVP off stats," and I just don't think that's gonna happen. I think he had an incredible season last year, and if he was going to win the MVP off stats, it was gonna be like last year. I think he's staying in the game too long, which is ultimately a detriment to his team. And now he has an injury that I'm going to just operate on the assumption that it is real because that makes the most sense to me, if I'm being completely honest. I have no reason to suspect it's not real. I'm not a Ravens fan by any means. I mean, I fucking hate the Ravens. Like, I hate Lamar Jackson the most, but I also hate the Ravens. Just like, how many people do you need to not win the Super Bowl? You get all the guys and you're supposed to be these world beaters, and then you lose all the time and big whatever, that's not the point. Um, yeah, I think, him leaving the game intentionally when he could have gone back in, I'm not saying that that's 100% the case. What I am saying is that that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think that conspiracy is crazy because when he got his big contract negotiation, he was kind of a bitch about the whole thing and was like, "Oh, you're not gonna pay me the money I deserve, so I'm gonna leave." Which is fair to an extent, but when you go and you look at the guys who are in the same realm or same tier, I guess, or have won Super Bowls, the Tom Brady's, the Patrick Mahomes, I would say even the Josh Allens, he hasn't won yet, but he's in the same tier as Lamar Jackson, often put. You want your guy to be making the sacrifices to get to that next level. Look at Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. They always took the money and, yeah, had some good teams, but because they always took the money, they've got, I think, 1 Super Bowl win each for Russ and Aaron Rodgers, and they never made it back after that because their teams just flatly weren't good enough. They were too dependent on the quarterback to be a game changer, which, yes, 100% Aaron Rodgers is. He looks great right now, um, for Pittsburgh. I watched that game or a lot of that game in the morning yesterday, and he wasn't playing out of his mind, but the way he moved, he just like it just looked like, "Oh, that's Aaron Rodgers in the pocket." Like if he backpedaled and was holding the ball and then you freeze frame, it looked like Aaron Rodgers. So, I'm not saying that Aaron couldn't do it, but if Aaron couldn't do it because he wasn't giving up money, and Russell couldn't do it because he wasn't giving up money, and Tom Brady gave up money, and he won, obviously, a ton of Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes has won a bunch, and he took a very team-friendly deal, I think, stretching his contract out over 10 years. And Josh Allen, when he initially signed his big contract extension after his rookie contract, he could have very easily gone and said, "I want to be the highest paid quarterback in the league," but he didn't. He got paid still less than Mahomes at the time, only for a few years, understanding the market, and he's done some contract renegotiations and stuff. But those are the kinds of things you want to see from your starting quarterback. So if Lamar isn't doing those things, or he hasn't done that in the past, he hasn't really been the guy to, as far as I know, restructure or take the team friendly deal. He's always been a little more, um, I don't want to say selfish, but he's been very prioritizing of himself it and playing for what feels like personal stats like and MVPs as opposed to necessarily the wins. And yes, he does play great, but he has yet to win a Super Bowl. It definitely feels like Josh Allen is way closer to winning a Super Bowl than the Ravens, especially today. The Bills are 4-0, and when they look bad, they still win. And now the Ravens are sitting at 1-3, and we're kind of questioning some things. I'm curious if it is the case that maybe his hamstring wasn't as banged up as we were led to believe, and he left the game a little early. Again, I'm not saying that he did, but what I am saying is that I don't know if it would surprise me because he's kind of shown that self prioritization a lot in the past, I would say, and I don't know if I agree with it. Now, some people are saying, oh, Patrick Mahomes is this is why Lamar will never be as good as Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes was good. I don't know if he still is. Again, the Ravens defense is bad. I think the Ravens defense is bad. They've got fucking gaping holes. So if you got a guy, excuse me, if you got a guy who can tear them up, they're gonna get torn up. And yeah, Mahomes has looked good. I did not watch this game yesterday. Also, haven't really watched any of the Chiefs this season because I fucking hate the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs. From people who have watched more of them, they've said that Pat he hasn't looked the same. He hasn't been the same guy that he's been in the past. Do I think him and Andy Reid are washed? Maybe. Maybe they're going to have sparks here and there. Look at Mike McDaniel out here in Miami. He's got sparks here and there, but I think people are kind of made up their mind on him and said, guy doesn't have it. And I think that might be fair to say about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They might just be past their time, which there's nothing wrong with that. They had a good run. Do I think that's going to end them forever? No. Do I think Patrick Mahomes could get back to a Super Bowl? Yeah. Do I think it's going to be this year? No, I don't. I just don't see it. I don't see the cohesiveness from the team. I mean, again, it's just looking at stats. Like I said, haven't watched the game. That haven't watched a single game the Chiefs have played, but just from what I've heard, from what other people have said, I can't. I got one screen, guys. You've heard me say it. I got one screen. I can't watch every game. But people are saying he doesn't look the same. I don't. I don't know if he's the same now. I truly do not. So we'll see. But do I think that's keeping? Do I think he showed better than Lamar? Maybe not in terms of statistically and on-field performance, but I think that Mahomes has a lot more fight than Lamar does. I think Lamar is a very self-centered, selfish player, if I'm being honest, and that may not be the most accurate take, but that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting, you know? That's kind of how it feels, just a little bit feels like that. Not feeling great. You know what I mean? My phone's going off like fucking crazy. I don't know if that's going to show up on the recording, but I'm trying to watch the game and record this, but I got to record on my laptop, obviously. So I'm watching the game on my phone and people are fucking blowing it up. But yeah, crazy shit. Not as crazy as a 40-40 tie on Sunday Night Football. I did not watch this whole game. I was tired. I had a long day, a long weekend. So I fell asleep in the third quarter after the last bet I had was Tucker Kraft to get a touchdown, and then he didn't get a touchdown. And I went, well, I'm kind of over this then, I guess. I'm going to stop watching because I've got a bad feeling. I'm on a losing streak, and I don't see it turning around now. You know what I mean? So part of me does kind of feel, I would say, based on what we thought about these two teams, I would say if you had to say who lost the tie, I would say Green Bay lost the tie because you should have really kind of stomped the Cowboys. And now you're on a weird slide. Wouldn't you say? The Packers lost to the Browns, like, what was it, 10-13 last week? And now you've tied in overtime with the Cowboys? Those are both teams that, frankly, kinda everyone had written off at the beginning of the season saying, "These guys aren't gonna be good. They're not gonna execute." So, what's the deal with the fucking cheeseheads? I don't understand. They might just not be as good as we thought. Maybe they weren't the game-breaking defense we thought they were. They gave up 40 points to a Dallas offense that does not have their best wide receiver. What the fuck? George Pickens is good, but the reason they got DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh and got rid of George Pickens is because he wasn't a number one, and now you're getting fucking cooked by this guy? This is supposed to be an elite defense out here in Green Bay. They're supposed to be the Super Bowl favorites. They're supposed to be a ground-shaking, fist-pumping, gonna beat your fucking ass kind of defense, and that just doesn't seem to be the case right now, does it? I'm not gonna give you credit for locking up the Browns' offense. I'm not. Because unfortunately, kind of a sad day, last of a dying breed, the quarterbacks of my childhood, Joe Flacco, might be done. So I'm not going to give you credit for beating the Browns offense and holding them to 10 points, whatever it was that they got on offense, because that doesn't mean shit to me. And then you went out and all you had to do was shut down the Cowboys offense for 2 drives, and you got nothing. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, good thing you traded for Micah Parsons. That's been a huge get. Now everyone focuses their offensive line towards him. He doesn't really, from what I've watched and what I felt, didn't really feel like he was impacted in the game. So what fucking gives? Good move on your part. Hate to say it. God damn, maybe Jerry Jones got some slick moves up his sleeves. Maybe he knew what he was doing when he traded away Micah Parsons. Maybe they are better by subtract. I don't know. A lot of people are saying, oh, if they just had this difference maker on defense, they're hanging with Green Bay. On Sunday night, biggest stage, hanging with Green Bay. I don't know if Dallas is good. Maybe Green Bay isn't as good as we thought. Maybe they shouldn't be the Super Bowl favorites. Maybe it should be a team like the fucking Bills or the Chargers. Well, maybe not the Chargers. They just lost to the Giants, which we'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. Maybe they should not be considered the Super Bowl favorites. Maybe it's not the best roster. Maybe they're not the best coach team. Maybe they do fail here and there. But even on a bad day, I don't think you should be losing that game in overtime 40-40 to the Dallas Cowboys. Because I hate to break it to you, the Dallas Cowboys aren't that good. You know what I mean? They're not that good. That's a first down. So, how about you figure it the fuck out, Green Bay? You're sitting at 2-1-1 right now. I'd be embarrassed if I were you. I'd be embarrassed right now. Losing to the Browns and then tying the Cowboys in overtime. I'd be embarrassed. Good for you, you put up 40 points. It took you overtime to do it, and that was the Dallas defense. That's the same defense the Bears that everyone had written off put up 31 on a week ago. So what the fuck are you doing, Green Bay? I do like how every week I just get to call out a different fan base or team. It has been fun. So figure it the fuck out, dude, because holy shit, man. What the hell? That has to have pissed off a lot of people who took Green Bay. It's got to piss off. If I'm a Green Bay fan, I'm livid. I'm livid at the Packers for getting a tie against the Cowboys. I'd be losing my fucking mind. Absolutely would be losing my mind. Because holy shit, man. Just, again, frankly, it's embarrassing. It's super embarrassing. Now, you've got a bye week next week. Okay, Packers? You got a bye week. So this is your chance to figure it out. Settle down, get in a groove. You've got Cincinnati coming up in week 6, the week after the bye. That's a pretty beatable fucking team, if I do say so myself. So how about you figure your shit out and don't go and beat them close? How about you go and blow out the Bengals? How about that? Wouldn't that be good to see? Huh, Pack fans? Wouldn't that be good to see? If you just dominate a team that you frankly should be dominating. We've seen that Jake Browning is not the same as Joe Burrow. I thought that went without saying, but a lot of people still really like the Bengals, and they thought they could stay afloat. I don't see it. I just don't. So if the Packers don't come out of the bye week and kick the shit out of the Bengals, I'd feel like the biggest loser. I'd feel like the biggest loser if you don't win by 10 points. I think you're stupid and you made a mistake trading for Micah Parsons and basically saying we're going to go all in on the season. Get a real number 1 wide receiver. Romeo Doubs seems to be the number 1. He had 3 touchdowns yesterday against Dallas, but it doesn't feel like a number 1. Don't play like a number 1. So how about you figure it out? Figure it out coming out of the bye week. Come on now. Let's talk about Jaxson Dart, dude. Jaxson Dart is, I think he's him. I think he looks good. I think Brian Dable was ready and willing to do anything and everything that Jaxson Dart would have wanted him to do. And that includes, unfortunately, for Mr. Dable, putting it inside of him. I think he's another version of Josh Allen. He plays the exact same way. I mean, and that's what Brian Dable had success with. He had Josh Allen looking good. I honestly believe that Joe Brady has Josh Allen looking better than Brian Dable did. I think it could have gotten there if Brian Dable had decided to hang around, but you got to capitalize, take a head coaching job for the Giants. I get it, big dog. Used to be pissed about it, used to be upset about it. Then we got Joe Brady, and I thought we were a better offense for it. Everybody eats. But now Brian Dable's got a guy who plays like Josh Allen. It kind of moves like Josh Allen. Is the same kind of guy as Josh Allen, and he went out and he got a big W. I think maybe it's a perfect marriage. Maybe that's what he was missing. He had the wrong kind of guys under center, just couldn't execute the way he wanted to execute. I get it. When I play college football, when I play Madden, I like a guy who can run around a little bit. I sit in the pocket, I make some throws out. It ain't there on the first 1 or 2 reads. I get the fuck out of there, and I pick up the first down with the quarterback, or at least try. Yeah, maybe I got a little day ball in me. You know what I mean? That's not impossible. Another fumble. The Jets just had a second fumble in the first half this time, or at least I believe it was the second this time, by Justin Fields, just coming back from a concussion, and Miami picked it up again. It's not looking good on the gambling front for tonight. I am livid. There's still time, but I am pissed. And dude, first off, didn't see this until afterwards. Like, I think I saw it this morning. Jaxson Dart, before the game, posted a picture or shared a picture, whatever it was. I didn't see the original thing. He shared a picture of Madison Beer, Justin Herbert's girlfriend, and then deleted it before the game And then Jaxson Dart went ahead and beat Justin Herbert. Whew. That's a tough look, buddy. First off, insane baller move by Jaxson Dart to do that. I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know if he just caught himself, but that was kind of sick. And what a bitch move by Herbert to lose that game afterwards. Holy shit, dude. You can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. You can't be up there using the Josh Allen method of dating a super attractive famous woman and then playing like an all-star quarterback. Cuz I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm Josh Allen. I'm not letting that Sinners movie go. That's fuel for the whole season. You guys want to clown on me? You want to clown on my wife? I'm going to win a Super Bowl. How about that? That's how it feels this year. Justin Herbert should be, "Oh, you're going to post a picture of my girlfriend and then delete it? The day we're going to play? You think that's going to work with me? Fuck that. I don't care if I am on the road. This is my house. I'm beating you." That's exactly how it should be, and that is not what Herbert did. I am disappointed in him as a man. I'm disappointed in him as a future father and husband. I think he failed to defend not only his honor, but Miss Beer's honor. And he needs to rectify that. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's got to figure it out because, man, oh man, am I feeling like a big fucking retard if I don't find a way to rectify losing to the man who publicly posted about my girlfriend and then deleted it, and then in his first start ever in the NFL went and beat my ass by 3 points, and they shouldn't even have deserved to be in the game. Personally, if I'm being completely honest, I think Jaxson Dart should have not played this game. I think he should have waited and played the Saints next week. A little bit more of a cupcake game, a little bit more of a gimme. Easier defense would have been better for him as a starter. I was proven wrong. It turns out the head coach of the New York Giants knows a little bit more about football than I do. He knows his players a little bit more than I do. And so I was wrong. But Herbert, Harbaugh, you got stomped right in your face, losing to the guy after that Instagram, Twitter, whatever it was. Embarrassing, brother. Embarrassing. Cannot believe that just happened to you right in your face like that. Oh my God, that would hurt so much if that happened to me. If only I had a family. God, Tyreek Hill is fun to watch, isn't he? Not sure what that celebration was, just kind of flicking his wrist around, but oh, we've got an injury and a flag. A lot of moving parts in this Jets-Dolphins game. Really not a good game so far. It's 10-0 with a little over 2 minutes to go here in the first half. And you know what? I'm going to have to ride this game out because not a chance am I going to switch over to the Broncos and Bengals. That sounds like a bad game too, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I will check it out. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the slate next week, I don't even know exactly what we're looking at. I haven't looked. I've been so enamored with trying to not be completely dominated in a gambling sense. And I've barely looked at what we have coming up next week. Bills, Patriots. Bills are going to win that one because it's in Buffalo. So get screwed, Patriots. Go fuck yourself. I mean, there's Rams, Niners, Vikings, Browns. Vikings, Browns might actually be an interesting game because I think Carson Wentz has kind of returned back to what we thought he was. I think maybe that Kevin O'Connell magic kind of wore off a little bit, and now Carson Wentz is going to do Carson Wentz things, which I think is throwing a bunch of yards and getting a couple touchdowns and losing the game. That just seems to be the case. So I would be, Minnesota -3.5 against the Browns. Might be teasing the Browns. Might take the Browns a little bit. Who knows? Raiders Colts. Obviously the Colts there. It feels so good. I think they competed in that game very well against the Rams. Anything else interesting? I mean, not really, if I'm being honest. Oh, Buccaneers Seahawks could be good. Lions Bengals should have been a good game. Now it sucks ass. So who gives a fuck about that? Chiefs Jaguars could actually be a pretty good game now that we are looking at it. I mean, that could honestly end up being a ton of fun. Chiefs Jaguars. Let's see if the Chiefs are back, if they're returned to form, if the Jaguars, they're 3-1, they're at home. Are they good? Do they have maybe some shit rolling down there? Did Trevor Lawrence finally wake it up and maybe he's not putting up the best stats? I don't know. I haven't looked. I've given up on him as a quarterback, but maybe he's starting to find a way to get wins. I don't know. You know what I do know? Still, this week going on, brother, get Jameis Winston on the field. I don't even care what team it is. Oh, that would be sick, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That would be so cool if Jameis, if Lamar is going to be out for an extended period of time. I doubt that'll be the case. But if he is, do the Ravens trade for Jameis Winston? Because that could be fun. I still think he should be on the Bengals. I'd love to see him sling it in orange, but hey, the Ravens could be a really fun team to see him on. I don't think we're really dealing with any injuries anywhere else, but all I know is that it's an absolute travesty for us to be seeing, once again, this many backup quarterbacks, and none of them are Jameis Winston. I think that is a disgrace to the NFL. I think it's a disgrace to football as a whole. It's a disgrace to NFL fans, and it's a disgrace to America. Football fans or not, it's a disgrace to America, to the soldiers overseas fighting for our freedom. It is an absolute disgrace that we are seeing this many backup quarterbacks throughout the season, and Jameis Winston hasn't taken a fucking snap. That's a problem. That needs to be fixed. How about we get fucking on that? Okay, I'm not going to spend another episode getting fired up about Jameis Winston not being on the field, but god damn it, how about you figure that shit out? Okay, Giants? Okay, Dable? Stop planting him third string. Stop planting him third string. You, at the very least, move him to the number 2 spot on the depth chart. Fuck Russell Wilson. What good is he? All he did was lose you 3 games and show they can't play quarterback anymore. How about we get Jameis Winston in there playing the number 2 spot, or we send him to another team so that America can have fun again? How about that? You prick. You leave Buffalo and we all hated you, and now you're just stashing Jameis Winston on the bench like an asshole. We deserve better. But that's the show for today. So, if you guys enjoyed the show, quick note. This usually comes out on Thursday. Pat on the back usually comes out Thursday at 7 a.m. We are switching. If you're just listening to this now, we are switching to Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Not that much different. One day earlier. Not a big deal. But keep that in mind. We are pivoting to Wednesdays as opposed to Thursday mornings. So hoping that hits a little bit better for us. But we're pivoting to Wednesday mornings instead of Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. Go check out Rudy Tuesday, and we're gonna start promoting that a little bit more. Rudy Tuesday, comedy podcast I do with comedians Breck, Michael, and Rudy Marinosa. We have guests on there. We hang out, have a good time. Last week's episode, we just had our very good friend John Imperator on. Uh, Next week's episode, we're going to have the very funny Jenna Trudeau on. It's a great time. Please go check that out. My name is Pat O'Connor. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you keep coming back. I hope you're enjoying this show. Thank you.